Hi, everyone. Welcome to our next episode or our third episode of Getting to Gold. We are so happy that you joined us today. And as you know, Getting to Gold is all about connecting with entrepreneurs, learning more about their journey, learning more about what they could have done better, what they should have done better, and tips and tricks about their business as they go. Today, we have the illustrious Jeremiah Bull. He is a fitness instructor, veteran, longtime entrepreneur. Don't let that baby face fool you. He is a veteran and he is doing things his own way. Jeremiah, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself and what you got going on?
All right, so my name's Jeremiah Bull, of course. I'm the founder of Bull Fitness Personal Training. I've been training for over 7 years now. I'm a veteran in the Army. I've been in the Army for about 7 years. So I dual hat my business with my job, and it's not a side hustle. They both get full time attention. So I like helping people um, reach their health and fitness goals. I like helping people regain their confidence, and I like helping people grow mentally because I don't think that people realize how much their mental is connected to their physical, and how important exercise actually is to your mental health. So helping people realize that, and helping coach people and teach them and make that impact is really big for me. And it's something that I will continue to do amongst other things as I expand my business and my endeavors through the years. So
That's
that
so
is it in
awesome.
a nutshell.
So the reason I really wanted Jeremiah to come on is because he is really unique, not only because he is running a business full time, but he's also working full time and a very high demanding job. So before we kind of get into what it takes to run a business and do a 9 to 5, why don't you kind of tell us how you got started into your industry and when did you start?
Okay, so when I was in high school, I played football and I ran track. So I was always used to like working out, and I always enjoyed like training. When I graduated, it was kind of like an empty space, and I didn't really know what to do at first. I ended up joining the Delaware National Guard. So when I was away, like basic training, I realized how much I'd actually like to exercise and how much
Mm-hmm.
it felt good to push yourself, even though it was hard. And then I ended up starting to help other people that were struggling to pass their, like their physical assessment when they were in basic training, which is a big deal because it can keep you from graduating. So as I started helping people and they were able to pass, and I seen the gratitude people had and the positive impact they had, I realized that it's something that I definitely wanted to continue to do. So
Okay.
after the Delaware National Guard is a reserve component of the Army. So once you're finished, you get to go home and you do your, drills on the weekend and your 2 weeks in the summer. So once I finished that, I went home and instantly I have to do something. So I started going door to door, trying to start personal training. At this time, I was 18, so I was very inexperienced, and I looked even younger than I do now. So looking back, it was probably a little weird for people having this kid to come up to their house, knock on the door, but I was able to get like two clients after knocking on like almost every door in the neighborhood. And at this point I was only charging like $5 a session or $10 a session, which is extremely cheap if you know anything about personal training or anything
Mm.
in general. If you're charging $5 for an hour of your time, you're not really making any money. So that just shows how much I really wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I got started in a nutshell. From there, that fall, I started college at Delaware State University, and I was a movement science major, so I didn't know if I was going to become stay a personal trainer, but I knew that's something that I like to do and I was good at.
Okay.
Originally, my goal was to become like either an athletic trainer or a physical therapist, because that's kind of the careers you're like fed as a kinesiology or movement science major. Like, oh, this is the career path, occupational therapist.
Okay.
Normally teaches you that you can just own your own business or things of that nature. I always knew you could own your own business just because my dad's an entrepreneur, but no, like that's not really like a direction that college is going to push you in, especially within my major. They're not going to push you within creation or producing your own thing. They're going to put you into a streamline. So you're going to go to school and you're going to go to grad school. But as I was in school and I was training people, um, And I became that guy on campus. You know, I was teaching the classes, I was training people on the side, and I eventually got to my senior year, and this is when I started understanding the business of personal training and how much bigger it could be. Is when I did my internship with CNU Fit, and I seen how they were running their business. It wasn't about getting hundreds of people in there. It was about providing a client with a safe space, with great instruction and a great trainer, and then getting them results. You know, you got to get them results, but also creating a really good quality relationship with that customer. And if you can create that environment where they're comfortable and they see results and they like you, then you'll be able to, you know, charge what you want. Everything's not about money, but at the end of the day, you have to make money to run your business. You have to make money to hire other people or get people to do these services so that you can provide these amazing services. And there definitely is levels to personal training. And I've seen that, like, that wasn't a gym, it was just a studio specific for personal training. And that's when I took it more serious. Like, oh, like this could be what pays my bills plus some. And I could use this as income to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
build myself up. I don't know. I didn't know everything about money that I know now, but at that time, that's when I was like, had the aha moment. Like, you know, and it's, you have to have that exposure. You have to see it, and you have to put yourself in the position to see it. And a lot of times, people aren't put in positions um, to be exposed to people that are operating at that level where they're like are building wealth and they are making good money and they don't have to clock in with anyone else. So for me, I was exposed to that on the personal training level, and I was like,
Okay.
oh snap, I can do this. So fast forward, I was in ROTC this whole time, and I commissioned and I'm active duty in the Army.
Okay.
So I kind of put the personal training to the side because, you know, it's kind of like how they feed you in college. They're like, you know, you go to college, you get your career, and then you just do your career. And so I was like, um, I'm in the Army now. I'm not gonna have time for training people. I'm not gonna have time for my business. But I ended up
Well,
having
hold
more
on,
time.
Jeremiah. Hold on. Because
Yeah.
now we're getting later into the journey, and I want to just take a moment to talk about the beginning because you said some really good things, and I don't want people
Okay.
to miss them. Okay, because now
Okay.
we're going to get into that later journey, and I think that's really important. So let's like really briefly recap. So Jeremiah said that at the beginning, number one, he was hustling. Okay, so he was just so passionate about what he was doing, and that drove him to start. But it was almost 4 years before you actually were in the mindset of like, oh, I can like use this as a business, I can make this as a business, and your passion became business. That's like the second thing I noticed immediately. And that exposure is what encouraged you to kind of move forward from like, okay, I'm doing this as a passion, I'm doing this to help people, making a little money here and there, to like, actually I can make this a business. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it was for me. I was training college kids, so it was hard to like actually make real money because
Right.
we all don't have a lot of financial stability or
Yeah.
income. So I didn't really look at it as like I can make. I didn't look at it as like I can make six figures from training, you know,
Right.
until I was exposed to that. So it wasn't like, oh, I didn't think I could do it as a business. I just didn't know how I would be
Mm,
able to make
okay.
that type of money.
So how to
So
do it, having some type of strategy or seeing how someone else did it allowed you to kind of figure out a strategy for yourself.
you're just seeing it and just knowing you could charge that much money to train people.
Yeah, well, we like talking about the money and getting the gold because we are here for the money. So I think those are
Yeah.
really important lessons. Like Jeremiah didn't know everything that he was going doing at the beginning, right? But that didn't stop him. He still moved forward. He still started. He still pursued his business. And when I think that's so important, oftentimes when we're starting out, a lot of us just feel like we have to have everything together. But we're talking to Jeremiah, and you've heard other entrepreneurs in here. We don't have to. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to start moving forward. So I just really wanted to highlight that because I think that's really important when you're starting or having your business, that you have to just start. You got to start somewhere, and it's okay if you don't have anything figured out. So we left off in Jeremiah's story, and he's saying that you graduated now. So it's been a couple of years since that initial bank, going around the neighborhood, knocking on all the doors, getting your first two clients, which is awesome. Now you are moving on to what I would say the career portion
Mm.
of your life with the military, and you kind of hinted that you may have stopped or changed or shifted your perspective because of being fed a certain thing. So why don't you talk to us a little bit more about that once you transitioned out of college and graduating and moving towards the career world?
So once I entered in the active duty army as a second lieutenant, I had to go to training in Georgia, and during this time, I had a lot more free time than I thought I would have had. And you don't have all the distractions of when you're in college, the partying and just like being social and being around people. So I was doing a lot of watching Netflix. It wasn't really fulfilling. It wasn't really making me happy. And I was like, man, I can fill this time with something more productive. I just knew there was something more I could be doing. So I was like, I got to start training again. I didn't know how I was going to be able to train someone consistently because the army is very unpredictable. But I knew if I had an online service, I could do that. From wherever I'm at, I can do that. So at this point, I know the simple stuff. I know how to hustle. So I'm
Right.
just starting messaging people on Facebook. Hi, my name's Jeremiah Bull. I'm a personal trainer. I'd love to talk to you about my personal training service. I'm dropping an elite program online. And I hadn't created anything at this point. I was just trying to see if I could get some clients. So every
Let's
day I
stop
was,
right there. He hadn't created anything yet. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Okay. Keep going. Okay. You hadn't created anything else. You were just trying to see if you can get some clients because you were pivoting from what you had originally done to still pursue what you wanted to do. Oh, I just wanted you
yeah.
guys to hear that. He didn't even have anything set up yet. And he was still like, nah, we're going to try to get these clients out here. I love the hustle. Okay, keep going, keep going.
So I had a notepad, and I'm pretty much everybody that I would like to I could call them because I was like, can I call you? So I was calling everybody because I wanted to talk to them on the phone. So I'm trying to get on the phone with everybody, or I'm messaging people. And, of course, some people are going to ignore you, some people are going to answer, some people are going to be not interested. You know what I mean? And that's fine. So I just like, well, if I keep calling, somebody got to say yes eventually. So eventually, someone said yes. Actually, my first client was Miss Pat. Miss Pat has been a person in my story. Shout out to Miss Pat. I'm gonna come a long way. When I
Shout
first
out
started
to Miss
training,
Pat.
Miss Pat was one of my clients. I used to go to her house and train her. I think for like $15 a session, which is extremely cheap. And I would go to her. And then she signed up for my elite online package. I think it was $200 a month. And so that was like really how, I mean, getting your first person or first two people is really big for your business, and being able to build off of them is really
Absolutely.
big.
Absolutely.
So, that helped me stay positive. You can't get, entrepreneurship weighs on your mental health very heavy. So you got to be pretty tough because you can get exhausted and you can get to a state where you're still working, but you're not working with the mindset that you're going to succeed. You're just doing it because you do it because you just know you get to do it. But
Well, let me
help
ask
me.
you, how did you manage that mental health, because you were working in the military. That's not like something that's to sneeze at. I mean, you're also trying to build a business in a way you never did before. So how did you manage your mental health during that time?
Um, I just knew that if I kept working, I would get a client. So I was like, everybody can't say no. So eventually,
Okay, we
somebody
need
else
that
say yes.
Jeremiah energy, y'all. We need that Jeremiah energy. Somebody's going to say yes. Okay, just keep going.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to say yes. If you were looking back, is there something you would have done differently to manage your mental health differently, knowing what you know now? Or,
I think my mental health was super bad then, only because I wasn't looking for a whole lot of money.
okay.
So I was like, you know, if I can find a few people, I can make like an extra $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really thinking like now. I'm like, we can make 5 figures. We can work our way towards making 6 figures a month. You know what I mean? I wasn't really on that mindset then. So
Okay.
my focus was just like, hey, I'm gonna just keep working and I'm gonna get people to sign up, and I'll just keep calling people and messaging people. I wasn't super stressed. I don't think I think I was just more excited than anything.
Okay.
I knew that what I was providing, what I was charging was worth, like the service I was providing was worth its cost. What I didn't realize, I guess, is that it takes time. Even though
Mm-hmm.
your product is worth more, or
Mm-hmm.
can be worth more, or another business does the same thing and they can charge more, you have to establish that social trust,
Mm-hmm.
that social credibility.
Oh, that's so good.
For a personal trainer is going to be, before and afters,
Mm-hmm.
reviews. People want to know if you're a scam. People want to know if
Mm-hmm.
what you do actually works. So it takes time, and there's always going to be someone that trusts you and that they really want to see a change. So they'll take a chance. And from that point, I just was like, I'm gonna put all my energy into them and make sure that they see the results they can see. And everyone you train, everyone you help, whatever business you're in, is not going to see results, and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's, nothing to stress yourself out about. But I was just more focused on keep calling people, and then once you get people, try to help them. I don't remember really being stressed. I mean, at this point, it's been like uh 2 or 3 years since I was in Georgia. So
It's been a
I just
couple of years.
yeah, I listened to a
Okay.
lot of ET, a lot of Eric Thomas. I
Okay,
still
that's good
do.
for the mind. Okay, so a
Yeah.
little bit of motivational speaking. I think we should, really pause here for a moment because what he said was really, really relevant, right? So part of Jeremiah pursuing and going after all of this is that he was trying to build a brand. And I think he said something really important is you want to be able to charge your price, but you also want to make sure that you are building your brand. So sometimes that means that you're charging a lower price than someone else currently. And so having kind of like that balance can be a little tricky, but that's what you were building towards. And I think that's really important. It's not just about trying to get sales, sales, sales. You also have to realize that building a reputation for yourself, building trust with your clients and customers is part of the journey. So we're going to kind of fast forward a little bit. So you were in Georgia. You decided you were going to go after the business. Why don't you kind of tell us some of the obstacles that you faced during your entrepreneurial journey, maybe one or two, and what you would have done differently or what you would advise someone in a similar situation. So the question is, what kind of obstacles did you face during your entrepreneurial journey, and how did you or how would you advise someone else who were facing those same obstacles?
Hmm. I think I would have maybe slowed down and made a better process. For me, I was always like, I gotta make money, I gotta make money. So I never really wanted to slow down and make a better process. So like when I first got to Hawaii, I was still doing the door, like not a door. I did door to door method, but I was still walking up and talking to people at the gym, which is a good method. But to be efficient, especially if you're a sole proprietor or the sole person in your business.
So entrepreneur, single member LLC. Shout out to y'all. I
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah, if you're the only person, you gotta find a more efficient way than talking to every single person you see about your business. Because the rule still applies. It'll be like 1 in 100 people that actually take your business. So do you want to spend your time talking to 1,000 people to get 10 clients, or do you want to figure out a better way to reach clients? So what I realized is there is something called social media that you can use to promote your business. I wish I would have invested more money in the beginning in social media. Eventually, I did, but for a long time, I was going off of um, just talking to people and getting their emails, which is not a bad thing. That's actually a
Right.
great thing when you're first starting. But
Mm-hmm.
eventually, you have to evolve, especially when you start getting clients. You're going to get busy. One thing I would have wish I would have did earlier is getting some team members to help me with some basic stuff. And
Okay.
it's hard. It's hard as an entrepreneur to give that control, that power up. It's your baby. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know people that well. It's very hard to trust them with your business, to trust them with your customers, to think that they're going to take care of them as well as you do. But I think I could have gotten probably like an assistant or of some sort that would have helped a lot
Okay.
keep balance. Because there was some days when I got off work late, and it made it hard to be on time. And of course, the clients are going to be understanding, but you still want to provide the best service possible.
Best service
I,
possible.
yeah, I would just say, for me personally, something that I need to do still is my my taxes.
Oh, let's say he's talking about taxes, social media, business processes, getting a team. Listen, y'all hear these obstacles? Like these are different things that apply to everyone's business. Taxes is a big one.
Yeah.
What is going on
So
with the taxes?
so for a long time, I was running all my transactions through my personal account. So I didn't have a business account till 2019. And
Okay.
so now I have a business account, and the money's going to the business account. Now I need to get a CPA and pretty much break down my account so I can pay my taxes before I get audited. So that's
Yes.
something that I think that can be missed, especially as someone that's if you work and you have a business, it's easy to not do the taxes for the business because you're like, oh, you're already doing taxes for your regular
Mm-hmm.
job. So, but that in the long run is going to be beneficial for your business. You got to show taxable income, especially if you're going to buy stuff with your business, and
Mm-hmm.
to show that it's actually making this certain income. So that's something that if you're not doing, definitely make that step. Take that step. I'm going to as well to make sure you're set up posture for success in the future. It doesn't help if you make $500,000, but you didn't do your taxes. So now you
Come
can't even
on.
use it to
Can't
do
even use the
anything.
money. And
Yeah.
that's so true. And I think you kind of pinpointed something that I think a lot of people will be interested in hearing. Tell us how you balance working a 9 to 5 and running a business. Because in Georgia you were thinking, but now you are working full time, right? You're
Mhm.
working full time. I always forget his ranking, so you got to share what your ranking. He is, in charge of people. You are working full time, and your job is very time consuming, and it does take energy and mental strength. It's not like you're just sitting in, you're not just sitting somewhere watching planes go by and not having to do anything. And then you're still coming home and you're working full time on your business as well. So kind of talk to us a little bit about that balance and how that is.
Okay. So, well, I'm a first lieutenant now. I'm a platoon leader. I'm in charge of about 55 soldiers, and they go on missions all over the world. And it's my job to like make sure that they have everything they need and that they understand where they're going and that they're taken care of.
Okay.
Pretty much, we take care of them. I have other people under me that help me, of course, but I'm in charge of them, and I'm supposed to take care of them. So it is mentally draining because you deal with a lot of people's issues. And then if you've ever been in the military, you know that if someone works for you, you should be taking care of them and making sure that they're good. That's just how at least the Army is set up. I can't speak for any of the other branches,
Okay.
but so if someone's getting divorced, someone's getting beat by their husband or their wife, someone's family member dies, if someone gets a DUI, all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff goes through me. All that stuff
Okay.
is something I have to deal with and help them with. Might have to go pick them up from the police station. Might
Okay.
have to go. Might have to get their spouse away from them. It's a lot of dramatics that come with it. It's just normal. I mean, everyday life that people deal with, but we're there to help them. It's a lot of younger people, but a lot of people around my age group, but they're just maybe not as mature or have as much experience as I do. So it is a lot very consuming.
Okay.
How I balance it from the beginning, I mean, I would just go the easiest the thing that made it easier for me to be focused on the business. I would go straight from my work and I would go straight to train. So there wasn't a
Okay.
lot of time for me to waste time, and I like training.
Mm-hmm.
So it would actually make me feel pretty good once I left there. So I think that's a good sign when you're able to go straight from your day job to your grind, and you leave in a better attitude. I mean, I feel like you're on the right path. So at the beginning, like that wasn't hard. I would
Okay.
get home and then I would start working on programs. So if anyone's watching this and they've seen my stuff before, they've seen the A-Week transformation. And so when I used to make the A-Week transformations, I used to make them all on Microsoft. And I had to type
Mm.
them all, and I have to do all these calculations myself. So that's what I used to do when I got done training, and that would take a lot of time.
Wow.
And yeah, so I mean, honestly, I would say the business was pretty much consuming all my free time, which I didn't really mind. I mean, I was in
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii. I don't have no family here. I really know too many people, which is fine. And that gave me a chance to really focus on my business. That's one of the main
Okay.
reasons I want to move. I want to move away from familiar areas and be uncomfortable, be separated. I understood you got to
Mm.
separate yourself to grow, whether you're staying in
Oh,
your
that's
state or
good. Did y'all
not.
hear that? You gotta separate yourself to grow. Oh, that was good. I just wanted
Yeah.
to repeat that. Go ahead.
So I was like, I understood that when I graduated. I was like, if I stay here, I mean, I'm in a fraternity. I had a pretty good college experience, and I have a pretty good social circle where I came from. I knew I would be distracted, even if I
Mm-hmm.
was in like Georgia, and I would know I would be coming home. So I was just like, man, I need to get away from what I know so that I can
Mm-hmm.
grow. And that was just my thought process about. I mean, I chose Hawaii, Europe, Italy, anything that was out of America, just to like put myself in an uncomfortable situation. So then
Wow.
when I was, when I had the opportunity to grow my business, I had no distractions at all. And so that's kind of how it helped me balance it. And so if you're struggling to balance, you might have to separate yourself from a lot of things. And if people don't understand, they're probably not on the same route as you. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, for me, it's not hard because most of the people that I'm friends with or my family is working on their own project. And if there's someone that is upset that you're working on something for yourself, that's ultimately, if they're close to you, going to benefit them in the long run.
Yeah, it
And they're going to
is.
benefit your kids and your family. If they're upset that you're working on it, then you probably don't need to interact with them. And if they can't comprehend that your life and your time don't revolve around them and that it's for a bigger picture, you probably just don't need to be around them. And that's just a hard thing that comes with when you're trying to grow something. You don't have to, even if you're trying to become an actor, rapper, lawyer, doctor,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to take separation, it's going to take sacrifice. And so for me, I just understood that it's not super hard. It wasn't like a thing where I'm like fighting myself to do my work because it's my business, and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to be successful. I also knew I was going to get out the army as soon as I got to Hawaii. So I was like, do whatever we have to do
Mm-hmm.
to get the job done. And I think just seeing what it could be is what helps me be able to do the work I need to do. So I think I'm at a place where I'm closer to the goal than I am to the beginning. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
much closer. And so that helps me. It's not, I mean, entrepreneurship isn't a balanced life is when you're in the beginning stages. It's not a balanced life. You're not
It's
gonna have
not.
time to be watching TV and be going out with the guys or the girls and you can do that, but you're not gonna be making the progress you want to. It's
That's
gonna be a
correct.
lot of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you
Working.
know, working.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm like, man, if I can work and focus and keep growing, then I'll be able to relax how I want to relax later and go
Mm-hmm.
on vacation how I want to go on vacation later. So it's not even really about balance all the way. There has to be some balance, but
Okay.
there is a long period of unbalance. And I was
Okay.
just fine with it. I was fine with it. And I think once you comprehend that, you'll be able to do a lot more.
I think that's really good. I did ask about balance, and I think I agree with, Jeremiah. When you're first starting, a lot of times you're going to be working a lot longer hours, and just because the learning curve alone. I mean, I think we heard from Jeremiah's journey that he was on his own learning curve and he had to learn things as he was going along. And then if you're working full time, there will be something that might get have to get pushed aside. So maybe you're not going to the movies, maybe you're not going out with to brunch. Maybe you're not doing all these extra things because all of your extra time is going towards building the business so that you can have extra time long term. So Jeremiah has said so many good tidbits today. He talked about, just being persistent and resilient, taking care of your mental health, making a business out of something you're passionate about. I hear so many times people don't want to make something into a business because they're like, it's my passion. I don't want to lose my passion for it. But this is an example of someone who found a passion and did turn it into a business, having, a plan and not being discouraged if those around you are not doing what you're doing in the military. Is very common for you to stay there for a long period of time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Jeremiah was like, you know what? I want something further. So, we're going to kind of just wrap up a little bit, but we want to kind of hear what you're doing now. Where can we find you if we want to connect with you? Kind of like what's going on with your business now, and what is the name of your business? Why don't you share just a little bit about what you're going, what you got going on, so that people can find you and connect with you if they're interested in learning more.
All right, so I'm gonna restate. My name is Jeremiah Bull. I'm the founder of Bull Fitness Personal Training. And if you want to find us, oh yeah, you can see the shirt.
Is that
It's
a
actually
shirt? Is that a little apparel? Have Bull Fitness
it.
expanded to apparel now?
This is one of the originals from when I was in
Okay.
college. Actually, I
Wow.
bought and I've been holding it ever since. It's very good quality. We haven't made any since, but maybe soon. So you can find me on Instagram at Bull Fitness 95. You can find me on Facebook at Bull Fitness 1995, and you can find me on Twitter at Bull Fitness 95. I'm getting into Twitter. You can find me on Snapchat at Bull Fitness, and um, that is my social medias.
So Bull Fitness all around. I'm gonna put the links in the description below, just like I always do, including his own page and website, so you can check him out. I have personally been a recipient of some of his workout plans. Not as consistent as I should be, but let me tell you, those things work. I was definitely like, ooh, my muscles. So he definitely knows his stuff. He's definitely gonna get you together. And I hope that you guys walk away with the ideal that you don't have to be limited by your situation, by your circumstances, or your job. And Jeremiah has shown us that having a laser focus and being really resilient and just hustling and expanding and keeping going will really grow your business. The ideal of just moving and keep moving have literally sustained and got him to the place where he is today, where when he leaves the military, he will have a full-time business with a great brand and great brand recognition and all of the things he has been working really hard to do at a very, very young age. So I hope this encourages, anyone who's on the fence about starting a business, running their business, or in the middle of doing their business and wanting to, throw it away. Don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to hustle. And we will see you guys on the next episode of Getting to Gold. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, Jeremiah, for sharing all your tidbits and your journey. It has been a pleasure. I hope all of you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, afternoon, evening, or midnight, whenever you're watching. All right, guys, I'm out of here.